Hello 212 students. Today I'm going to show you how you can digitize your own vector shapefiles. To start out with, get your map, go about to the area you want to start digitizing. You can open your databases here on the right side under Catalog, and you'll see the default geodatabase where all of your data is being stored. You're going to right click on it, and you're going to go to New here, and then you're going to go to Feature Class. Click on it. You're going to give the feature class a name. It depends on what you're doing. Today we're going to be digitizing roads and buildings on BYU campus, so I'll just name it accordingly. BYU Roads. Don't put a space in the name. The system does not like that. You can put it in the alias though, or in other words what it will show as being called, but the actual technical name is here. Alright, let's do it as a line file. Right here you have to change it to be one of these three things. Don't worry about these bottom four, they're more advanced, but a polygon is a shape. A line is just a simple line, and a point is a single point. That will all make sense later on. Alright, I'm going to leave alias blank. Here is the attribute table where we can choose what attributes to give. I'm just going to say name, and that's going to be a text data type. Other things you can calibrate is what coordinate system that you want your data to be in. I'll just leave mine in the default. Don't worry about tolerance right now. All these things you'll learn about later, but for now, let's just click Finish. All right, so that created a feature class, but the feature class is empty, meaning that there aren't any lines still on the map. We have to go ahead and digitize those ourselves. All right, so now you go back to your catalog, expand your geodatabase now, and you'll see the class you made. We're just going to throw it onto the map. Okay, still there's nothing on the map. It shows what the roads would look like if there were any on the map. So let's digitize some of the roads, or in other words, create lines where the roads are. To do this, we're going to actually change base map to be imagery. Here you see we're on BYU campus. We're just going to zoom in, and we can see some roads. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the Edit tab. And there's a lot of things here, but we're just going to go to Create right here. You'll notice on the right we have a new Create Features pane. You're just going to choose the one that we want to do. I'm going to click it. Okay. There's a couple ways of how to do this. Right now, by default, it's by drawing line segments. I'll show you. So let's say this BYU road we want to digitize starts here. We click, and then as you can see, it kind of lets us draw line segments. Okay, we just go draw the line we want. You'll notice that we're drawing vertices in the line. All right, here's an important tip. If you get to somewhere outside of the view of the map, but you want to keep digitizing, your little scrolly wheel, you can click down on it and drag. It won't create a vertice, but it will move the frame. Okay, we'll just go all the way to right here. Double click or click this check mark right here when you're done. If you don't like it and you want to delete it, click the X or delete. So we're going to double click, and voila, there is our very nicely drawn road. There's other ways you can do it. I would suggest testing some of these. You can get circular arcs. You can make sure it's a right angle. And we'll go over a lot of these in class. Okay, but now let's try some of the other ones. Okay, so let's go back to the catalog. Let's create a new feature class. It's going to be BYU Buildings. And we're just going to make sure it's a point feature. I guess it doesn't like me calling it BYU Buildings. I'll just call it Buildings. Okay. Just going to click Finish. All right, let's just drag that on. All right, now We go once again to edit and we click create. Now we click buildings, and everywhere we see a building we can drop a point. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, last let's do a polygon one to show you guys what polygons are. Oh, this one is going to be, let's call it parking lots. This is actually what I did to get this job, was digitize parking. We're just going to click finish. All right. Let's refresh this. If you don't see your class show up, just try refreshing. Parking. All right, cool. Let's create some parking lots. Okay, the difference between lines and polygons is they get filled on the inside. There's still these vertices. And you'll notice that it's kind of filling in the gaps. You still double click to finish it. And obviously this is a rough sketch. I'm not actually giving my best effort to make these look nice, but as you can see, if you double click, it will end as what it looks like after the vertex you last dropped. So make sure to know when you're finishing it and to be aware of what it's going to look like. Okay? Now, last thing, let's give a name to the road we created. I'm going to right-click on roads and go to attribute table, and we can see that there's one feature. If we click right here, we can see which feature it is. Oh boy, it's the line we digitized. So we're just going to come into here and say Campus Drive. Okay? Okay, I lied. There is one final thing that we need to talk about with the basics of digitizing. When you are finished digitizing, you have to click Save under the Edit tab right here. Okay? The normal Save button will save the project, but not your edits. You have to click this Save right here. Otherwise, all the edits you did inside of your feature classes will not be saved, and you will have to do them again, and it'll be quite sad. All right, as always, let us know if you have any questions. There's your basic tutorial on how to digitize.